back to the fence, and that's gone.
There it is. Ace to win the set. It's caught. 20-10 touchdown.
This is going to be in the gap.
Yes! Score! Go to the deflection. The Denver Huskies win their first state championship.
And here we go, the final night of the regular season in high school baseball. Got a couple of conference champions going at it here tonight on QCTV Sports as the Champlin Park Rebels, champions of the Northwest Suburban Conference. They clinched it with their win over Coon Rapids last night, 8-1, their first championship since 2016. They are hosting the Minneapolis Southwest Lakers, champions of the Minneapolis City Conference, winning their 5th consecutive conference championship, finishing the season at 12-0. Two teams with outstanding records, two teams that should contend in their section tonight, Joe. So should be a good game, Rebels and Lakers tonight.
It certainly should. The Lakers just coming off an impressive 20-1 win over Patrick Henry. And meanwhile, you're looking at Champlin Park with the most recent win, 8-1 over Coon Rapids. That also last night as well. Two teams that compare very much along the statistical lines. You got a team batting average for Champlin Park that's at 286. The team batting average for the Lakers, that's at 283. On base percentage for the Lakers, 378 and 383 for Champlin Park. But both teams can barrel up that ball at the at-bats, and they've got a great complementary pitching staff. And tonight, the Champlin Park Rebels will get theirs going with a good look here at
Tyler Finau.
You got it. Tyler Finau comes in.
See him warming up.
He has an ERA of 2.27. Let's get you a look here at the lineup. There's Finau, but behind the dish it will be McGee. Meanwhile, left field is Carlson, and Schornstein at center field. Zahalka in right field. Brooks leading the team in hitting and has a great glove at third. Theraldson also at shortstop, followed at second base Oxborough. And then at first base, they're going to switch that up again at the last minute. So Andrew Rocco will be playing first, and Oleg Mueller will be at DH.
Minneapolis Southwest, their due batters here in the top of the first inning. Senior center fielder Malcolm Munich, junior shortstop Will Johnson, and senior catcher Andrew Fazio. Tyler Finau getting the start here tonight for Champlin Park. 24 2/3 innings pitched, 2.27 earned run average. He's given up 17 hits, 13 runs, just 8 earned. Struck out 34 and has walked 12 on the season. Almost a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And he starts out Malcolm Munich here, the senior center fielder, with a strike. Second pitch bounced here to the left side. High hop for Brooks at third. And he'll throw it over to first, and there is one out. Justin Brooks and Andrew Rocco, Joe, just this week announced as members and selected to the Metro North All-Star team. The Minnesota Baseball Coaches Association putting on their yearly All-Star Series coming up later on in June in Chaska. So congratulations to both Brooks and Rocco
Both
in making that team.
Yeah, and
Will Johnson, first pitch swinging on the ground to second. Oxborough will toss it over to first. Quickly, 2 outs here for Minneapolis Southwest in the top of the first. Here's their catcher, Andrew Fazio, batting .370 with 12 runs batted in on the season.
And I believe was he named, I believe, to a team? Or perhaps not yet, but
no, they have a player too that was named as well, and I marked that down. I'm pretty sure it was him. Take a look at my notes. The Baseball Coaches Association announced those teams and those rosters for the Metro teams, and also, of course, the outstate teams as well earlier here this week. 2 down as we are in the top of the first, along with Joe Rulin. I'm Jim Erickson. We are just underway. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike here to Fazio, the catcher who bats cleanup for this Minneapolis Southwest team. Their head coach Alex Case, who took over for longtime coach Jared Mountain, who had coached 26 years, and he's going into the Hall of Fame coming up later on this summer.
Well, he was as old as a mountain.
Well,
Maybe.
he was. He's my same age. He was class of '88 at Roosevelt, so he was my same age, class of '88. But he became the coach at Southwest in his mid-20s.
Absolutely, yeah.
And was there for 26 years. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Fazio. Joshi would bat in the number 4 spot. With Finau, the right-hander, delivering. It's a fly ball to center. Schornstein drifting to right center. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. So Finau and Champlin Park setting the Lakers down in order. 1-2-3. Top half of the first inning. No score with Champlin Park coming up.
Yeah, and very, well, somewhat of a wind blowing in from right field. That may have held that last drive by Fazio up in that air and allowing Schornstein to get under to make the catch. But beautiful evening. And we're ready here. A southpaw on the mound this evening for this Minneapolis Southwest squad.
And here's the lineup that he will be facing for Ryan Tome. Ryan Tome in his 3rd season. Justin Brooks leading it off, heading to St. John's. Mentioned he's a star. And then you see the rest of that lineup. They're going to face Lewis Walker. 4-1 on the season, a 1.40 ERA, 30 innings pitched. 9 walks, 37 strikeouts, 6 runs, all of them earned, and has given up just 15 hits in his 30 innings pitched. So Lewis Walker has had a real nice season here for Minneapolis Southwest. They have used 10 pitchers. So they have quite a few pitchers, and they use a lot of them here during the season. That is high. A high school team usually doesn't use 10 pitchers during a high school spring season. So they've got some arms they like to throw out there. So they're pretty deep on the mound.
And you'll see some great ball movement here by Walker. He's got a fastball that just runs inside to those left-handed hitters. The last time we were here, we saw Elk River throw a gifted left-hander. And he tried to silence the bats for a while, but it'll be good. Meanwhile, opponents are batting just .139 against Walker this season. So,
all right, Champlin Park with those white helmets stepping up here to lead it off in the bottom of the first inning. Justin Brooks, senior 3rd baseman, leading the team with a .444 average, leads the team with 28 hits. 8 runs batted in here against the lefty Lewis Walker. Bottom of the first inning. First pitch is a breaking ball called strike 1. Walker starts him out with a strike with a curveball, Joe.
Nice. Started on the outside part of the plate, ended up on the inside.
1 strike pitch. That one misses outside.
That's it. Fastball that'll run in on a left-handed hitter. That one ran out of the strike zone.
1 ball, 1 strike. Champlin Park 14-4. Minneapolis Southwest 15-4. So similar records for both of these teams. That pitch misses high. And this is not a matchup that has been a regular matchup here in high school baseball between these teams. No recent meetings in any of the records here. So a new non-conference opponent here for Champlin Park. Boy, he really snapped that one off. Another curveball across on the back door, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, he's got a lively release on the pitch.
2-2 to Brooks. Fouled back, stays alive with Oxborough and Oligmuller due up here for Champlin Park.
Team ERA this season, you'd mentioned they have the Lakers with 10 different pitchers that they run out to toe the rubber. A team ERA of 1.97.
On the ground, left side, 3rd baseman Joshi plants and throws, 1 out. Champlin Park finished 10-2 in the Northwest Suburban Conference, winning their first conference championship since 2016, the year they went to the state tournament. And they tied with Tino Grace that year. Champlin Park all the way to the championship game that year in 2016, lost to Wyzetta at Target Field. Championship games this year will be at CHS Field. Target Field not available for the championship series for all 4 classes. The batter here is Chase Oxborough, a .250 hitter, 7 runs batted in, 1 down, nobody on.
He started him out, did Walker with the same pitch. He did
this one popped up infield. First baseman Capel, and he got turned around. Did that hit the line? It's a fair ball, and he's going for a double. He'll be thrown out. So Oxborough tried to get the extra base. He thought he could sneak in 2. And Capel, the first base, just got turned around, got dizzy. It landed right on the line. Take a look at this, Joe. Boom, right there.
Yeah, he really did. He got tangled up his footing not in the right spot, reached back to see, and just dropped inside the first base line.
So officially, that's a single.
It is.
With him being thrown out, trying to stretch it to a double. And now there's an appeal here by Champlin Park. I don't know. Are they going to, is the home plate umpire talking to the infield umpire saying it was a foul ball or not? Not sure. Yeah. I guess they're going to overrule that it was fair. We'd have to have a better camera angle than we had before, and I don't know if we will right down the line.
Well, that looked like it dropped in.
Yeah. It was close. Of course, it comes down and
far and away, that was in fair territory and in the right call.
So that means Oxborough is back up. So now one down. Mm-hmm. And there's a curve ball. So forget about the whole single and thrown out trying to stretch to a double.
So they did call that foul.
So they called, they just appealed.
Yeah, I saw, and so
2-1 pitch. So we got to go
right
back.
now.
We got to go back to the previous.
We're going to need to take another
previous
look
count
at
as well. 3-1. So one out, nobody on. Forget about that play with Oxborough as he takes on the outside corner here. And I believe the count is full 3-2. Yeah, it is. Home plate umpire, good job signaling that for us. One down, 3-2 here to Oxborough. Thought he was out. Now he's back up there swinging away. And no, he takes here low and in. Ball 4. So you go from being thrown out at second on a little Texas League pop-up in the infield, trying to stretch it to 2, and he ends up drawing a walk. First walk given up here by Walker. Just the 10th he has given up here this season. We might have a better look on that foul ball here.
And it came right back in. That was fair.
Yeah. I don't know. Look at where it hit. It hit. It
right on.
Well, looked like it's on the line, yeah.
Yep. I think Johnny Cash would say it was on the line.
Well, he walks the line.
Yes, exactly.
It was our basketball coach would say, get on the line. One ball the count here to Kellen Oligmuller. 311 hitter, batting left here. 10 runs batted in, doing the DHing tonight. Hitting for the pitcher, Finau. And that'll be thrown over to first. And Oxborough gets back.
Was a lot closer than I thought. To me, it looked like it was clearly in play. But that replay showed it hitting the chalk on that first base line. It was, in fact, still a fair ball, but the officials
overturned it. Of course, no replay or review in high school baseball. As Oligmuller sends this one into right field. That'll be enough to get Oxborough over to third. Runners of the corners, one down here for Champlin Park. A walk, and now a single. I know that is a replay that the Minneapolis South coaches don't want to see right now. If there are people watching from Minneapolis Southwest, they're texting in the dugout right now and going, hey, that was on the line. But that was a tough call for the home plate umpire. That lands right on that line. It's coming down. Almost a judgment call there. You almost have to look at the ball mark.
Absolutely.
Here is the pitch. It's up, and ball number 1 here to Andrew Rocco. 317 hitters. Got a couple of home runs. And 15 runs batted in. Rocco at first base here tonight for Champlin Park.
This is going to be a great matchup all night.
Rocco has had a heck of a season. Probably their best pitcher. Can steal bases, run the bases. He has just been absolutely awesome. And like we mentioned before, rewarded with a trip to the All-Star Baseball Series in Chaska next month. And a member of the Metro North team. Here Rocco waves at an off-speed pitch. Timing was off there for him, way out in front, 1-2.
Yep, and that was off the plate. Let's see what Walker will come back with here.
And he delivers a fastball right at the belt, and he rings him up, 2 down.
Too close to watch. But Rocco, hey, not only success this season, he's been having success at Champlin Park since his sophomore season.
So Lewis Walker doing a nice job here with runners the corners. First baseman Capel holding over at first with Oligmuller, and the battle will be Zahalka. Bottom of the first, no score. Rebels threatening here. First pitch swinging off the end of the bat to the right, not a play. 1 strike. Zahalka hitting .291. 6 runs batted in for the Champlin Park Rebels, who have won 8 in a row. Their last loss came at Sartell on Saturday, May 6th. And the 1 strike.
A bender that time, misses low.
One ball and one strike.
A couple of different breaking balls. You can see one more of a 12-6 and another with a different arm slot, but more of a traditional curve.
He has a nice assortment of pitches. Comes in that one with another curveball that was curving in, little high. And Zaholka fights it off, and it's one ball and two strikes.
He's got that second breaking pitch that he just threw that really comes at a late break.
Here comes the 1-2, reaches out, nice piece of hitting down the line. That'll score a run. On 1-2, protecting the plate and going the other way was Zaholka, picking up his 7th RBI of the season. Big clutch 2-out base hit, 1-0 Champlin Park.
Well, that's called going with the pitch. If you try to pull that pitch on the outside part of the plate, you're going to beat that into the ground. And you'll end up getting a force out at one of the bases or fielder's choice. Great job of getting that bat head out, and barreling up and punching it to right field on that pitch on the outside part of the plate.
Still 2 down. Runners back at the corners again here for Champlin Park. And the 6th hitter to step up in this bottom of the first inning, Nicholas Carlson, the sophomore left fielder. 306 hitters, 7 runs batted in. And he looks at ball 1.
So that
ball 2.
Ominous play at first, which was called a foul ball. And a redo for Oxborough. He comes around to score.
2 balls, no strikes. Curveball high. 3 balls and no strikes. Lewis Walker likes to work that curve. Joshi's at third. Johnson's the shortstop. Dupner's at second. Capel holding with the runner at first here with 2 down. That runner Zaholka getting his lead. 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk loads him up. Zaholka to second. Carlson's at first. Oleg Mueller stays at third here for Champlin Park. And a chance for another clutch 2-out base hit. And Brady Schornstein will bat, sophomore center fielder. .263 average for Brady. 10 runs batted in. Has one of their 3 home runs this season for the Rebels. Walker delivers, drops down a little bit. Maybe not quite 3/4, more like 7/8. And he delivers a strike on the breaking ball.
Bases are juiced for the Rebels.
1 strike pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2.
See, he came back in, had him leading with that first breaking pitch, then came in with that fastball that tailed in and kind of locked him up.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Got him on the outside corner. Big strikeout for Walker. Champlin Park will have to settle for 1 here in this first inning. A run, couple of hits, and they leave the bases loaded here in the bottom of the first inning. We played 1. It's 1-0. Champlin Park over Minneapolis Southwest. Final game of the regular season here for the Rebels on QCTV Sports. It is a beautiful night for baseball here at Champlin Park High School. You see the crowd here in the final regular season game. Section playoffs begin next week. For the Champlin Park Rebels, it'll be between them and Moundsview, it sounds like, for the #1 seed in the section. Moundsview is playing Maple Grove tonight. And Minneapolis Southwest, they're at section 6 4A. St. Louis Park is the defending champion there. But they should be a contender for a high seed as well as we go to the top of the second inning for Minneapolis Southwest. Finn Joshi, Mason Olson, and Ray Capel. And yes, Andrew Fazio is the final out in that first inning. He is going to also be in that all-star game being hosted by the Minnesota Baseball Coaches Association. He'll be a member of the Metro West all-star team. Players from Eden Prairie, Jordan, Minnetonka, St. Michael, Albertville, among others. He's the lone Minneapolis Southwest player on that all-star team. First pitch from Finau is inside to Joshi. Ball one. Joshi hits .396, has a homer, 11 runs batted in. Just like the Rebels, this Laker team has 3 homers. The Finau pitch, sidearm delivery, misses outside, 2-0.
Got a little drop down that time, and that moved it to kind of almost swept across the plate and out of the strike zone for Finau.
Here's a 2-0. 3-0.
Same thing. You see that arm slap, but that movement is coming across his body, which is taking that ball out of the strike zone.
Junior catcher Ty McGee behind the plate here tonight. And the 3-0 pitch, Joshi taking all the way, and it's 3-1.
Got back to that L arm slot. Needed to stay on top of that ball when you're pitching.
3-1. Swung on and missed, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Minneapolis Southwest has won 8 of their last 9 games. They lost to Maple Grove in a close one last Thursday, 2-1. Since then, wins over Armstrong and Henry. Bouncer to the right side. First baseman Rocco over to try and flag it down. It gets by him, and it's into right field.
That second hop really picked up some speed and caught Rocco off guard. I think they'll probably give
him an error. Give a hit or an error. We got to. Who's the official score up here? Anybody?
I think Jeff
Anybody wants
is
to
the
take
official
that
score up here.
That's a lot of times it's way too much pressure for me. As Mason Olson bats with the runner at first, leadoff man on, nobody out. Olson .310 average, 15 runs batted in. And Finau delivers a strike.
But for Finn Josie, I like that at bat. With the 2 strikes, he just punched it again, didn't overswing. Get a look here at Mason Olson.
0-1 here to Olson, the senior right fielder. That's a fastball in the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Both of these teams fashioning the, well, not everybody though in Minneapolis Southwest. They've got a mixture of white batting helmets and dark colored batting helmets. The runner at first has got a dark helmet on. Joshi over there getting his lead with Rocco holding. Finau the setter's the 0-2. He comes in on a busted in on the hands and a swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout. Olson down swinging. First strikeout of the game for Finau, and his 35th strikeout of the season, 1 down.
Boy, that was a pretty good target because he went for that back foot. You see it many times with those left-handed hitters. Swept across. He missed the pitch, and out number 1.
Here's Ray Capel, first baseman, senior. 280 hitter, 8 runs batted in. Flinched at that one. It's called a strike, 0-1.
We look here at, again, the squad. Minneapolis Southwest, a 20-1 win last night.
19 hits in that game against Minneapolis Henry. They have 1 more game left. They play tomorrow.
Correct.
At St. Paul Highland Park. Ball on that last pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike to Capel. Runner at first. 1-0 Champlin Park. Top of the 2nd inning. Finau with a high set, and he steps off.
Lakers with 40 stolen bases this season.
Heading into the Section 5 4A tournament. Their seeds will be set on Thursdays when they have their seeding meeting. Maple Grove, the defending champions. Always a tough team. Always ready to play. That's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Minneapolis Southwest had a great battle as Maple Grove beat them 2-1 just on May 18th.
Little toss back, and the runner gets back. Rocco holding there. Finau checks the runner over at first. Taking his time here, he's ready and delivers. Quick throw down to first, backhanded by Rocco, knocked it down. And runner Joshi gets back in safely there for Minneapolis Southwest.
McGee making that throw down. You could tell he was eyeing up that runner. He was getting a generous lead over at first. See Joshi again, extending it, taking secondary steps.
Count is 3 balls, 1 strike. Runner on first here for Minneapolis Southwest. Swinging at it is Capel, lifting it foul territory towards the bullpen, and it's out of play. Filling the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Coach Alex Case telling us that to go 15-4, one of their keys has simply been pitching and defense here this season. And they've been able to work that to a 15-4 record, undefeated in the city conference for Minneapolis City.
Opponents averaging just 175.
3-2 pitch, runner goes, swing and a miss, a strikeout, and the throw sneaks its way into center field. Stolen base for Joshi. Meanwhile, Capel goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Olsen here. And now 2 outs in the inning, and they'll leave it up to Lewis Walker, the junior pitcher for Minneapolis Southwest. Leads them in RBIs with 19. He hits .289, has one of their 3 home runs. And he steps up here, Minneapolis Southwest, for the first time. As you see Joshi there at second, number 7, with a runner in scoring position. Finau delivers, foul tip into the glove of McGee. Strike 1.
Out in front of some off speed by Finau. They're doing a great job of mixing it up. Last thing you want is predictability on that first pitch.
Walker doing the pitching tonight, junior for the Lakers. 1 strike pitch. Got it on the outside corner. 0-2.
Some great accuracy there, dotting the outside part of the plate. Ahead in this count, 0-2 with 2 outs.
Back-to-back strikeouts here for Finau. He's 1 strike away from making it 3 in a row. 0-2 to Walker. That one didn't quite break the way he wanted to, and Walker did not chase, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, a little fastball, just tried to guide it instead of throw it. Let's see if he comes back to that sweeping curveball, targeting that back foot of a left-handed hitter.
And it's off the outer part of the bat. Little fly ball, left field. And having some problem with it was Carlson, because he had the third baseman Brooks and Therildson all there. It was a 3-man meeting. They were gathering, maybe going to deal out a couple of decks of cards and see, maybe play. What's a good 3-man card game, Joe, that you could play?
Well, you could play a form of cribbage with that as well, right?
So Carlson ended up making the catch. A bit of an adventure there, but that's all for Minneapolis Southwest. Top of the second inning. They got the air, left the runner at second, and then were retired 3 up, 3 down by Tyler Finau after the leadoff man got on. We go to the bottom of the second, 1.5, and it's still a 1-0 Champlin Park lead. As we take a look at those standings in the Northwest Suburban Conference, pretty much complete, although Anoka and Centennial are still playing today. So basically they're playing for the possibility of Anoka tying Elk River for second.
Correct. And
or
Andover
Centennial
and
forcing a tie with Anoka and Centennial for third place. So they're battling for third and second in that one.
And Andover's wrapping up, well, they have some more games also after tonight. But they're taking on Robbinsdale Armstrong at home this afternoon. That may be done, in fact, already.
Meanwhile, here at Champlin Park, it's a night game tonight. 7 o'clock first pitch. We'll be under the lights here as soon as the lights take effect. And we've got that Canadian smoke up in the atmosphere, up in the sky, filtering our sun a little bit here today as we go to the bottom of the second inning for Champlin Park. Rebels leading at 1-0. Ty McGee, Joseph Therildson in the top of the order, and Justin Brooks due up here for the Rebels.
Well, you know, I've taken the liberty of renaming the sun Smokey here during the sun and during the summer. And
that's a bold move by you. I mean, the Sun has had the name the Sun for how many centuries?
Yes, but it's just time, really. Isn't it overdue?
I think it's time for a brand change, changing the brand, right?
You know what? You'll notice, you know, the name and the changes in the profile on the Twitter account as well.
Just think about all the signage they're going to have to change, though, and all the songs about the Sun.
And yes.
Yes. Here comes Ty McGee, the junior catcher, batting .056 here for Champlin Park, trying to start things up. Try to get on base. First 2 pitches miss from Lewis Walker, 2-0.
That means it's not here comes the sun. It means here comes Smokey.
Here comes Smokey.
Do-do-do-do.
Here comes the 2-0, swing and a miss.
Oh, nice pitch.
2 balls
Nice.
and 1 strike.
He does a great job of hiding that ball in that release. Gets some excellent extension.
2-1 to the leadoff man, McGee. Hits it in the air to center. Long run here for Munich and the right fielder. But the right fielder will get to it. Olsen in right center. McGee's down, 1 out.
A lot of pitches tossed in that first inning. For Walker, he needed a short inning. It looked like it was going to be a brief inning, actually, but came back to extended to Champlin Park.
Thoraldson steps up, got the bright orange bat, hitting .286, 9 runs batted in the number 9 spot. First pitch swinging, line to center, and that'll be in front of Munich. And it's a base hit. 3rd hit of the game here for Champlin Park, and a 1-out base runner.
Always great to get a base hit from that number 9 hitter and then flip that thing over to your top hitter. And what an explosive leadoff hitter in Justin Brooks. As you mentioned, coming in hitting .444.
Top of the order, Brooks leads the team with 28 hits to go with that .444 average and 8 runs batted in. Grounded to 3rd in the bottom of the 1st. Mentioned the senior 3rd baseman heading to St. John's to play baseball. Toss over to 1st. Capel holding with Thoraldson there.
I noticed that Brooks, after he came back after the ground out to 3rd, his first at bat stopped and had an extensive conversation with Oxborough. And hey, that's what you want to hear from your leadoff hitter. So what are some tips? What are some tells? What did you pick up? What did his pitches do?
1 ball here to Brooks. Justin's been just under 500 all season long. Toss again over to 1st. Capel sliding back in safely is Thoraldson.
Always with that left-handed move to 1st. You know, you're waiting to see if that foot stays in front of that rubber.
In the air to left. Sullivan. Not quite as deep as he originally thought, looking up into that smoky sky. And makes the catch to retire Brooks, who's 0-2, 0 for 2 here tonight. And now 2 outs, and Chase Oxborough will step to the plate here for Champlin Park. He had that strange at-bat back in the 1st inning where it was an infield pop-up about halfway between 1st and home plate, and it landed, originally called fair. He was thrown out going to 2nd to try and stretch it into a double, but then the Rebels came out, Coach Tome came out, appealed to the home plate umpire to get because that's the home plate umpire's call before it gets to the bag. So it's up to the home plate umpire to ask the infield umpire for help on that, because that's his ball. That's the home plate umpire's ball until it gets past the bases. And Champlin Park came out and asked the home plate umpire to ask the infield umpire to get his thought on that. And they decided to change and overturn the call.
Oxborough came back and really worked the count.
Yeah, then he got a walk. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. It's a called strike. 2-1. Oxborough scored the lone run of the game on that 2-out base hit by Zaholka back in that 1st, and that's the only run of the game here tonight, with the Rebels batting in the bottom of the 2nd, and the lefty Walker again will throw it over to 1st.
We mentioned a lot of similarities on line stats for these two teams. Not only the batting averages separated by 3 percentage points, but stolen bases. Oh,
there's
good.
a looping curve ball.
Backdoor
Big
breaking
old
pitch.
Lollipop. And it sneaks over the outside corner, and Oxborough now is faced with a 2-2 count. If he gets on, Oleg Mueller on deck.
You got it.
2-2. Another curve ball. That's a ball, and there goes the runner, and the throw will sail a bit. Stolen base for Thoraldson. Runner in scoring position. And now a full count to Oxborough. That pitch was a close one, but it was called a ball, so 3-2.
Yep, 37 stolen bases now for the Rebels on the season, and 40. Make that 41 for Minneapolis Southwest.
Full count, 3-2, 2 down, and the pitch to short. Johnson gets a nice big hop, throws it over to 1st. And Walker pitches out of it here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. For the Rebels, they get a hit. They leave 1. We've played 2. We move to the 3 here tonight. It's the second to last game for Minneapolis Southwest, last regular season game for Champlin Park here in their home field. And right now they lead it 1-0 on QCTV Sports. Here we go to the third. Minneapolis Southwest in the third inning, trailing at 1-0. Quinn Sullivan, Evan Dupner, and Malcolm Munich due up here for Minneapolis Southwest. And they'll face Tyler Finau, who has a couple of strikeouts here. Has kept Minneapolis Southwest off the board.
Finau came in this matchup with an ERA of 2.27. 34 strikeouts coming in and just 13 walks.
Minneapolis Southwest also their seeds for their Section 6 4A tournament not yet set. They'll be set later on this week. Section 5 4A tournament begins on Monday. They play on Memorial Day in the first round. Both tournaments are double elimination. Sullivan's first at bat at the game here, hitting .250. Has a home run, 9 runs batted in. Each team with 3 round trippers coming in. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Here to the junior left fielder. Finau comes to the plate, 2-0 in off the handle and fouled back. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Sounds like the coaches will get together for a little Zoom party on Thursday to make the final decisions on the seedings.
Back in the old days, you'd actually have to drive to a restaurant or another school, swing and a miss, and have your meeting. Now you can just have it virtually. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Some high heat. Worked them in on that.
2-2. Popped up foul, this time to the right side. Rebels going to try to make their 5th appearance in the state tournament. They're going to have a high seed, a 1 or a 2. It'll be them or Maple Grove. And then Coach Thome was saying 3, 4, and 5 could be a number of teams. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Finau pitch. Again, bounce foul. Good battle here. Finau against Sullivan, and it rides along here at 2-2.
Well, he's seen that many pitches, which means he's probably seen his pitching portfolio completely. So let's see what he comes back with in Finau.
The 2-2 delivery. Fouled at the plate, just got a piece of it, and it stays 2-2.
Yeah, he left that up just enough to get a piece of that pitch and it extend this at bat, which is at 7 pitches on this particular pitch.
Another 2-2 pitch. He chased it. It's in the dirt. McGee will throw over to first to register the out. It'll go as a strikeout. 3rd strikeout in the last 4 at bats here for Tyler Finau. 1 down in the top of the 3rd. Here's Evan Dupner. 3 runs batted in the number 9 spot, hitting .167, playing at second base here for the Lakers tonight. Finau delivers. The first pitch is on the ground to Oxborough at second. Easy play, 2 down.
I will tell you, those 3-4 hoppers, always something that seems to happen once that ball takes 3 or 4 hops, but sitting on that ground ball, doing a nice job and making the play.
Munich, who led off the game with a grounder to third base for the first out of the game back in the first inning. As we go back to the top of the order here for Minneapolis Southwest, 5 in a row set down here for Tyler Finau. Line the other way, foul by Munich. 1 strike, came into the game hitting .317. 10 runs batted in. Walker leads them in RBIs, 19. Righty versus lefty here. 1 strike. Swung on and missed. Nice breaking ball, added some downward break, and swinging over the top of it was Munich, and it's 0-2. A
nice spin on that ball, and you're right. See if he comes back in towards that back foot right there.
Goes low. 1-2 with Johnson batting due up here. If Johnson in the on-deck circle, if Munich can get on.
I'm sitting here looking for a fastball because I've seen enough breaking balls.
1-2 pitch. He comes in on the hands. It's a bouncer to second. Oxborough is going to have to hurry. He does, and makes the play. That's 6 in a row set down here by Tyler Finau, and a 3-up, 3-down for Minneapolis Southwest here in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third, and here from Champlin Park High School, it's 1-0 Rebels.
Look at that, some curtain weather, 82 degrees. It is spectacular. As humidity at 28, the wind very light blowing in when it does blow from right field at about 9 miles an hour, just enough to part my hair. And forecast adequate and fair. Beautiful facility. Love
I thought you were wearing your hair that way because of your swimming.
Well, you know,
cuts down the drag.
It does, and people often ask me, and I have to kind of announce it out in advance and level set. No, I'm not wearing a toupee, because that's when people approach me and look at me, I can tell I'm pretty good at reading, anticipating those questions, and I know if I just get that out right away, it removes a lot of uncomfortableness. So,
Joe, I thought you were wearing a toupee, but I thought you had it cloaked, which is really handy. You got to turn the cloak on and off, because you might be somewhere, where bald is good.
Oh, yeah. It's trendy.
Yes.
Just like Smokey.
Like a Telly Savalas Kojak convention. Yeah. You can still have the toupee on. You cloak it, and then you're perfect. And then when you go back out after the Telly Savalas Kojak convention and lookalike contest, and then you can uncloak it, and then you all of a sudden have hair. I think that's a great idea.
And I think that dog is not wearing a toupee.
No.
Maybe cloaking. Looks a little hot at 80 degrees, and we're going to start this inning off with some left-handed juice that did some damage.
Oleg Mueller, Rocco, and Zachary Zaholka, 3, 4, and 5. Another tight game here, Champlin Park. They've outscored their opponents. I saw that you shared a note on Twitter. What was that stat you had over the last 8 games during this 8-game winning streak? They had outscored their opponents in maybe the last 4 games. What is it here? They've got, it was a 10-0 win over Rogers,
correct,
then a 7-3 win over Washburn, then an 11-1 win over Park Center, then an 8-1 win over Coon Rapids. So that's 17, 28, 36. They've outscored their opponents 36-5 in the last 4 games. That's not too shabby. That's getting good pitching, not giving up a lot of runs, but also being pretty hot with the bats here, and that's just what you want to see going into the playoffs.
An excellent blend of what you need. And
Oleg Mueller leads it off here. He singled in the first inning. Ooh, first pitch, a tantalizing breaking ball, slow curveball. And 1 strike here to Oleg Mueller. Again, Champlin Park scored the 1 run in the first, but they had the bases loaded with 2 outs. And Walker got Schornstein to strike out. There's a swing and a miss. Big cut by Oleg Mueller as 10 runs batted in on the season. Tried to make it 11 and hit it towards the football field. But he came up empty, 0-2. The Walker pitch got him to chase. A 3-pitch strikeout. Walker, that was a textbook there by Lewis.
You can see the 2 left-handed hitters giving each other advice. You can kind of see him go with that big kick, as in Walker, and then he comes with that breaking pitch, which is tough to see when you bring that right leg up and kind of hide it that much more. Rocco was first at bat.
And they've got a new pitcher, too. I just noticed this, and our PA announcer, Jeff Huffman, just noticed. I looked, he's wearing 6. That's not Walker
No.
anymore. That's Munich.
And so he really takes a lot off of that breaking
So,
pitch.
I'm assuming that was Walker in the first and second inning. We're certain of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that is.
Because they were both lefties. So one down here, Oleg Mueller. So Walker pitched 2. And again, Minneapolis Southwest does have a game tomorrow, so they might be thinking about that. It's a cross city and an intra-city, I should say inter-city matchup against the St. Paul City Conference in Highland Park. That's what they call the Twin Cities game. I think that's the 2 conference champions. You have the St. Paul City Conference and the Minneapolis City Conference, and their 2 champions will play at the end of the season, which is really cool if you've got the Minneapolis versus St. Paul rivalry. So that'll be fun coming up tomorrow. Meanwhile, Rocco gets a base hit here.
Well, you saw him keep his hands back and his weight back on that breaking pitch, and instead of jumping out and lunging at it, he waits for that thing to come to his wheelhouse, and he drove it up the middle.
Now the number 5 hitter, Zaholka, singled RBI, is 7 on the season now. And the first pitch for Munich is a strike, 1 strike.
Here it was. Champlin Park is out the last 8, and opponents 54-13
in the last 8 games.
In the last
during
8
that
games.
winning streak. That's something. 1 strike to Zaholka, hitting just under 300. He rolls it to second. Could be 2. Dupner to Johnson, covering at second, and the relay to first in time. It's an inning-ending double play. That's all for Champlin Park. Bottom of the 3rd, they get a hit. Nobody left. 3 innings. Still 1-0 Rebels here on QCTV Sports.
Hey, boss. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I said I'm fine.
Hey, son.
Hey, Pop.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Tyler Finau starting his 4th inning here quickly to the 4th here at Champlin Park. Under the lights here tonight, Will Johnson, Andrew Fazio, and Finn Joshi will be the batters due up here. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for Minneapolis Southwest, and head coach Alex Case in his first season, taking over from Jared Mountain, who had coached for 26 years and had to give up that spot as he took over as the activities director at Minneapolis Southwest.
Correct.
So some big shoes to fill for Alex Case. It's Johnson, Fazio, and Joshi.
Johnson last night in their 20-1 win over Patrick Henry. Will Johnson went 4 for 4 and a couple of RBIs.
First pitch to Johnson is a strike here from Finau. Johnson grounded to second. 0 for 1 here tonight. 5 runs batted in.
Off-speed spinner by Finau.
Has a couple of triples on the season as well. That one's a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
His arm slot is identical. When he throws that spinner, you always want that, and then that fastball that sweeps across the plate.
What pitch? Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Look and see if they try to mix it up now. Their second time.
Goes sidearm.
Yep.
And that one there, when you go sidearm, it just that half a second longer to pick up the ball, and that gets on you pretty quick. And Johnson was behind that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, sidearm fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, if you can do it, if you can throw it for a strike or near the plate, that's a great thing. And everything all the time is never a good thing. So just mixing it in every now and then.
2-2 on the outside corner. Got him looking. Big strikeout there by Finau, his 4th of the game. And he had 2 in the second, 1 last inning, and now here to start the 4th, he gets Johnson down looking, 1 down.
And boy, that was some great ball movement. Came late. He got some pop on the spin on that breaking pitch.
Andrew Fazio, Coach K says, has all the tools. Great as a catcher, good defense, behind the plate, calls a great game, got a good arm behind the plate.
See, I thought he was talking about me.
And a wonderful bat.
Those notes.
370. That is very familiar. You played in the era when they didn't even wear helmets.
Yeah, in fact, we called it an out once it bounced first.
Right.
And then you caught it. That was considered the true baseball.
2 balls and no strikes here to Fazio, 370 hitter, foul tip. And it's a strike, 2-1.
Finau throwing some explosive pitches and keeping them off balance.
1 down, nobody on. Hit in the air to left field. Carlson came in at first and then has to go out, and he tracks it down for the 2nd out of the inning. That's one where he had misjudged one earlier where he went back, which you're supposed to do anyway. Earlier on, was able to make the catch. This time he came in, misjudged that it was going to be shorter than it was. You can see right here in the replay, he came in and then goes out towards left center field and tracks it down. 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Fastball to Finn Joshi. 1 strike. And that's a good job by Carlson out there in left field. He realized that he'd misjudged it initially, was able to make up ground and make up for that and still make the catch. Another swing and a miss, this time off speed of the breaking ball. And it's 0-2 here to Joshi.
Joshi took another look at Finau and said, what was that pitch?
Finau working quickly, delivers a check swing. Did he go around? He did not. And it's going to be a ball back to the screen, 1-2.
Now you think, okay, he's looking for that sweeper type of pitch again here, but may bring a fastball in on his hands.
Josie reaching an air back in the 2nd inning. Foul back, and it's still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Minneapolis Southwest still looking for their first hit. And their only base runner was that air back in the 2nd inning that Joshi reached on.
They were hit farmers last night in their big win over Henry.
19 hits. And a strike 3 called on Joshi on 1-2. Another solid inning. Tyler Finau right now is in the groove. He's feeling it on the mound. He has retired 9 in a row, 3 up, 3 down. Here in the top of the 4th for Minneapolis Southwest. We go to the bottom of the 4th. We played 3.5. 1-0 Champlin Park.
And see, you can tell 16 was replaced by 6, right, on the left hand. And moving out to center field then is that number 11.
Ray Capel is out in center, who was at first base. And then number 16, Walker, is now at first base. It's the domino effect.
And you're right, it is kind of a herky-jerky delivery, you see.
But effective.
And yeah, he really likes to lift that shoulder, kick his leg. And you're not at home and you can't see this, but Jeff Hoffman on the PA does the exact same thing. Every time he delivers a name, he goes into this windup, kind of a herky-jerky body.
Kind of like Gary Wayne, formerly of the Twins, way back when.
I'll try to get it on my phone so you can play it back.
Malcolm Munich, who came in last inning. He is 0-0, no record, but he has 3 saves. He's been used in save situations, leads the team with 3 saves, 10 innings pitched.
Correct.
Entering the game, 3.50 ERA, 5 earned runs, 7 runs total. He has struck out 18 and walked 7. And that was going into the last inning. He did strike out 1 in that last inning back in the bottom of the 3rd against the Rebels. So he now has 19 strikeouts coming in here in what is his 9th appearance in relief after 2 innings by the starter, Lewis Walker.
Teams are hitting just a $196 with him on the mound.
Leading off your Rebels in the bottom of the 4th, the left fielder, number 17, Nick
Carlson, Schornstein, and McGee. 6, 7, and 8. 1-0 Champlin Park already here, bottom of the 4th inning. Munich works from the set regardless here. That's a guy who has been used mainly as a reliever in save situations late in games. Kind of expect them to work exclusively from the set, and that's exactly what he's doing here. As he started Carlson with a strike. Leg kick here, ripped into left field between Joshi and Johnson, and it's a base hit for Nicholas Carlson. He's on for the 2nd time tonight. He had a walk in his previous plate appearance. And the leadoff man is on. 4th hit of the game here for the Rebels for Brady Schornstein.
And Carlson got back-to-back looks at almost an identical pitch. And he just, the key being, he's right now don't think he's going to overpower, but more of the off-speed. So you got to stay back on the ball, keep the hands back.
Schornstein, a strikeout victim, went down looking, and he offers here in the bunt, and some hesitation there. They got him at second.
Ooh, that one was tight. I thought he could have been ahead of that tag.
Well, Carlson doesn't think he was out. Let's take a look at the replay.
I thought he got just in ahead.
So squared a bunt. He pulled back. They called it a strike. He did not make contact. Then there was some hesitation there. And Carlson thought he got his foot in there before the tag on his back. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Schornstein. So now 1 out, nobody on for the Rebels. On the outside corner. Good pitch there by Walker. That had some tail on it. And it's 1-2. Little tail from the left-handed pitcher. The tail's back on that black of the plate on the outside. Here he delivers again. This one's a sinker, low and away to Schornstein. He swings and misses, 2 down.
Throw down again here on the bunt attempt.
the catcher, number 19, time.
Late run, late throw.
Might have gotten him on the shoulder.
Well, he may have just bang,
He
bang.
may have gotten him on the shoulder. If we had that replay from our center field camera, maybe you can see him get it on the shoulder. From that angle, it is very plausible that he got him on the shoulder before Carlson got his foot in there.
Centimeters before he.
Because his foot was in the air before it made contact with the bag, as you could see on the replay. 1 ball the count here. Ty McGee, the junior catcher here for Champlin Park, clinging to a 1-0 lead. They scored a run back in the 1st. And that has been it for both teams here so far. The 1-ball pitch floats high, 2-0. Thoroldson would bat if McGee gets on.
Yeah, you know, you go to that first inning and you see, okay, 1 run in, then they left bases juiced in that first inning as well. Looked like they were going to try to break it open early.
That one's in the dirt. 3-0. Again, Munich came in last inning, so he's in his 2nd inning of work here in relief. Capel moved from first to center. He's in center field now for Minneapolis Southwest, and Lewis Walker, who was the starting pitcher, he's now playing at first. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 down. Base is empty here for the Rebels in the bottom of the 4th.
Oh, my.
And that one missed him. That was behind him.
That was an old hit the mascot from Bull Durham type of pitch.
Right.
And way the heck behind him.
That one got away from Munich on the 3-0 pitch. So he has given up his first walk. And a 2-out base runner for the Rebels, and their number 9 hitter is Joseph Thoroldson. 286 hitter. 9 runs batted in on the season. Drew Kaluza will be the runner over at first base for the catcher. Courtesy runner. So Kaluza at first. Walker holding with him. First pitch, curveball, gets it across. Munich, 1 strike.
Yeah, Thoroldson the last time up. Nice single, got things going, but again, they could not muster to scramble him across.
Another toss to first.
But it would be a great situation here. He gets another base hit, a knock. Then you ring and you flip the lineup over to get another look at Brooks, who will get his, well, it'll just be, I believe, his first look
Runner goes. Throw down is not in time. That'll be a stolen base. Kaluza comes in as the courtesy runner. Puts him at second now, 2 down. Pitch was a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both of these pitchers here for Minneapolis Southwest, both Walker and Munich, very confident with their curveball. They are more than comfortable starting out an at-bat with a curveball, and they can throw it across for a strike. You just don't see that often at the high school level.
Throwing it.
It's a good way to get ahead in the count.
You bet.
1-1 pitch, and that one's up behind him. Did it get a piece of him? Home plate umpire says no, but that'll be a wild pitch.
I thought that was impossible that it didn't hit him someplace, but it bounced before the at-bat down around his ankles. And he's having trouble on that drop-down breaking pitch.
Yeah.
It's a grip or what?
Yeah, he's lost control of that a couple of times here. Now runner 90 feet away. Kaluza representing the second run of the game here for Champlin Park. 2-1 delivery, and Thoroldsson swings. Gets a piece of it at the plate. 2-2.
And that pitch looks so good coming at it. There's a look at the just missed hitting the Rebels hitter there on that pitch down low. That last swing and a miss pitch looks golden. Looks like a volleyball coming in there, but then suddenly with a late break comes in on your hands.
Low and in. 3-2. Thoroldsson trying to give the Rebels another run here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Munich trying to keep it 1-0. 2 down, runner at third, and it's a full count pitch coming. Bounced wide of third. It stays 3-2. Ryan Thome tried to make the play there. It's kind of out of my field of view, but based on the reaction we're hearing from people that could see it.
I think David on the camera behind third was ready for it as well.
Our camera people are always ready. They're ready for anything, unlike you and I. 3-2. Swung on and missed. Pulled the string on it, and swinging over the top is Thoroldsson. Big strikeout for Munich. Nice Minneapolis Southwest contingent here at Champlin Park tonight. Rebels go down. Couple of strikeouts that inning by Munich, and he pitches himself out of that mini jam and strands a runner at third. As we played 4, we move to the 5th. Rebels no runs. They had a hit, and they leave that runner on base. We played 4, and we move to the 5th. 1-0 Rebels here on QCTV Sports.
Even though we didn't grow up together, he's my favorite brother.
Hey, sis.
I'm the baby of the family, and he's the gentle giant.
What you know about Port Georgia?
Man, please, that's a classic.
You know when they say people are a rare breed? Yeah, he's that.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Shug. You know I'm for you.
I know.
Go get the football.
That was my favorite memory. He was always for ya. This is a true story of me, Bridget Floyd, and this guy, George Perry Floyd Jr., my big brother.
Good night for baseball. We've got some face paint. Serious look there, but not always being serious when the camera's on. It's always fun to ham it up a little bit. Rebels here at home. They could have some home games. First round or 2 or maybe even 3. Looked at the empty brackets earlier today. Are listed as home site or high seed games. Section 5 4A tournament will cap off Wednesday, June 7th. That'll be the championship round, as the Lakers of Minneapolis Southwest will send Mason Olson, Ray Capel, Lewis Walker to the plate against Tyler Finau, who's been tough tonight. Starts him out here, though, 1 ball. 1-0 the count. Bouncer right side of the infield, and that's foul. 2 balls and no strikes. Mentioned Jared Mountain retiring as head coach when he took over the activities director spot. When he was the head coach, Minneapolis Southwest won 16 Minneapolis City titles. in 26 seasons. Not too shabby. 1 ball and 1 strike here out in front. Lifted it down the right field line. Long run for Zahalka, and it falls just foul. Zahalka was playing kind of towards the gap, towards right center, so he had a long run. He was nowhere close to the line when that ball was hit in the air. Good effort trying to get to it. Just a long run for a foul ball. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here. 1-2. Olson struck out swinging back in the second inning. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lights not yet quite taking effect here tonight. 2-2. Swung on and miss. Olson strikes out swinging. Strikeout starting to pile up here a little bit for Finau. Struck out 1 in the second, 2 in the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's his 6th strikeout of the game. And 3rd of the last 4 as Ray Capel now bats. Fastball in the outside corner. Strike 1. Capel struck out swinging in the second inning. 0 for 1. 280 average. 8 runs batted in. Goes the other way with a diving attempt by Rocco, and that'll be into right field, and that'll be the first hit of the game. The only other base runner here for Minneapolis Southwest was Joshi, who reached on an error on a ball hit in that direction on the right side. And this was a seeing eye base hit that just got past the diving Rocco. And Capella's on, first hit of the game for Southwest. I'll bring up Lewis Walker now playing at first base for the Lakers. He flied to left 0 for 1 here tonight. Takes outside from Finau. 1 ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Tyler Finau, the tall, lanky right-hander. Here's his delivery. Fouled straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe left us momentarily. Needed to go get a beverage. I don't know if he went to find an A&W drive-in. 1 ball and 1 strike. The runner at first, Capel, not going. Hit the other way down the left field line. Foul and out of play. And it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sullivan due up next. Now this game is just 1-0 here. Minneapolis Southwest trying to get the bats going. Finau, though, has been a tough cookie on the mound here for the Rebels. 1-2 delivery. Sidearm delivery again, left side. Maybe Carlson will have a play. Gets over there, but doesn't. And it'll stay 1 ball and 2 strikes down in the bullpen area. Champlin Park High School at third season here with the press box and the beautiful grandstand. A few more years longer than that for the backstop and the concrete area that they put in behind home plate. It's really turned out nice. Of course, added lights at that same time. 1-2 pitch, sidearm inside. Good stop by McGee, keeps the runner at first. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner bluffs off the end of the bat. Could be 2. Theraldson. He'll have to go to first. Good decision there because of the way his momentum was going. The runner did leave. He broke with the pitch. And that's just a smart idea, smart play, smart decision by Theraldson at shortstop to try and force to get 2, because that's an awkward against your body, against the momentum toss to try to get the guy covering at second, try to get to your second baseman Oxborough. So he decided to just get the out. Capel is on at second. The runner now is Sullivan. He fouls the first pitch straight back, 1 strike. Two down. Capel's at second. Dupner would bat if Sullivan can get on. Sullivan struck out in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1 tonight. Bats in the number 8 spot, but does have a home run here this season with 9 runs batted in. Waves at that one. 0-2. Finau's been very good at changing speeds, changing his arm angles, keeping the Minneapolis Southwest batters off balance. No balls, 2 strikes. Pulled foul towards the Champlin Park dugout, and it stays 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Representing the first run of the game for Minneapolis Southwest at second base is Ray Capel. And the 0-2 pitch popped up straight back. McGee will have a look over our heads. Out of play, still 0-2. Welcome back, Joe.
Well, you know, you have the players in the batting box, hitter's box, making adjustments, and I had to get away from the water and go to maybe a soda or go less through.
You needed some effervescence, is what you're talking. Some little carbonation.
More of a nuts to know by Joe. But yes, we did. We altered the game plan.
No balls and 2 strikes, adjusting on the fly. I'm impressed. 0-2 from Finau, swung on and missed. He got him to chase a pitch up out of the strike zone, up at the eyes, and Sullivan goes down swinging. It's a strikeout for Finau, his 7th of the game. And Minneapolis Southwest strands a runner at second here in the top of the 5th. They go to the bottom of the 5th, 4.5. Still Champlin Park 1, Minneapolis Southwest 0.
Finau has been a phenom.
Yeah.
Here tonight. Tallying up those Ks. Stymieing runners, so good. So if we had a look at, I had a chance to see Andover defeated Robbinsdale Armstrong 9-7, so now they have a 5-game win streak. Kind of getting that mojo and cadence back in time for postseason. But in terms of streaks and everything else, what streak, what baseball streak do you think will never be broken?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, obviously the Joe DiMaggio 56-game hitting streak, nobody's ever getting close to that here recently. The last several years, I haven't seen anybody. I think Cal Ripken, probably that streak.
Yes, longevity.
Yeah, I don't think you just don't have it. Baseball players are now sitting out for maintenance and general soreness and various things.
Or as they call it, loading.
Right.
The,
load
NBA.
management. Load management.
But I'm with him. As I look at the hit streaks, and I was just reviewing some of them late last night, just at key streak. I always felt.
Did you go
the
down
Joe
the rabbit?
DiMaggio
Did you go down the rabbit hole? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I did. I did. But the 56-game hit streak by DiMaggio, I just cannot believe. I was looking at all the Yankees accomplished that he had during that streak. And how the streak started, and the fact that the Yankees, I think, almost got 10 runs in that game, but he got a late hit 7th inning. And then what they accomplished as a team during his streak is amazing. But I can't imagine the pressure. And look at all the fans here.
Yep.
Some selfies, and then also some Kodak moments, as I just aged myself with that statement, Kodak. But we're set up here, bottom of the 5th, a chance here for the Rebels to try to punch something across.
Well, the thing with the DiMaggio streak is the streak stopped after 56, and didn't he have another streak in the teens or something after that? He went on another streak immediately after that. I don't know if it was as many as 20, but it was something significant. And the pitch is high here, Champlin Park, leading it off, Justin Brooks. Brooks, Oxborough, Oligmuller, top third of the order here for the Rebels, leading off the bottom of the 5th, clinging to a 1-0 lead. Munich, the second pitcher of the night, starting his 3rd inning. It's in the dirt, 2-0.
Yeah, DiMaggio actually had a similar streak in the minors.
I think that one was even longer.
Yeah, I think you're right. See, now
I got
a fact check, but it's good. I agree with you.
2 balls and no strikes. Little nubber, slow roller to second. Dupner, 1 out.
Seen some great fielding tonight. Good hands, good footwork. Probably the I wouldn't call it the worst play in the field, but the most challenging field we've seen in the play was in the first inning, bottom of the first, on the Rebels fly ball to first.
Yeah, just think if that call had not been overturned, we'd be 0-0 right now because Oxborough scored that run. Ended up drawing a walk after he thought he was thrown out at first base, and they appealed to the infield umpire. He said no, it did not hit the line. It was a foul ball that gave Oxborough new life. Drew a walk, eventually scored on the RBI hit by Zaholka. As it's 1 ball and 1 strike here, Oxborough takes the 1-0 pitch, a strike, 1-1.
Well, if you are silencing Brooks, he's 0 for 3. That says something about the pitching.
Hit the other way, slicing, that'll be foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mentioned Brooks and Rocco earlier. If you missed it, they're going to be on the Metro North team. Minnesota Baseball Coaches Association All-Star Series. That's technically called the Play Ball Minnesota All-Star Series. June 23rd and 24th at the Chask Athletic Park, the beautiful field they have down there. Fazio from Minneapolis Southwest will be on the Metro West team. Another little nubber off the end of the bat. Dupner's going to have to hurry. Does he have time? He does, and he gets him. Close play at first, but Dupner does a nice job. 2 up, 2 down.
Running up, barehanding that thing, and the next thing you're trying to think is, okay, do I want to just not give a step and have to bring it back and throw it or shovel it over? And he got a sidearm toss just in time to get Oxborough for the second out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Oleg Mueller, one of the 4 hits here for Champlin Park tonight. Singled in the first, struck out in the third. Bats with the bases empty and 2 down. Munich with a leg kick. And it's outside, 1-0.
Hey, he tagged one in his first at bat. Got things going. I thought he was going to get a double.
2 balls and no strikes. Rocco on deck if Oleg Mueller gets on here. Oleg Mueller doing the DHing.
Right now he'd have the game-winning RBI. It stays 1-0 into the 7th. Hitting .311.
Zaholka has the RBI.
Oh, I told you, do not correct me until we're off the air, please.
3 balls and no strikes. That's not my policy.
So,
listeners need to know. Like at the 3 balls and no strikes. Now, on the other hand, don't correct me. Rules for thee, not for me, as we like to say. 3-0, and Oleg Mueller takes it ball 4. So a 2-out base runner here. And Munich gives up his second walk of the game here in his 3rd inning of work in relief. And here comes the cleanup hitter, Andrew Rocco. Champlin Park trying to extend their lead here. Put something together here with 2 outs.
That would sure be a bit of relief, at least to get a little bit more of an insurance run.
Breaking ball, Rocco diving out of the way. Looks like it was heading towards his head, I'm sure.
Struck out at his first at bat and then came back with a nice single.
And then it was part of an inning-ending double play. Toss over to first. 1 ball, no strikes here to Andrew Rocco. It's quite an honor for these kids to play in that All-Star Series. For the longest time, that was called the Lions. The Lions
You're
clubs
right.
of Minnesota put
Correct.
that on. And then the Coaches Association kind of took it over. And then that Play Ball Minnesota, affiliated, I think, with the coaches, kind of took over the sponsorship of that. The 1-0 delivery. That again, little screwball tail in from the left-hander in on the left-handed swinging Rocco. Hit him on the hands, and he fights it off. 1-1.
And, you know, I don't do the employee evaluations or performance review, but make a note to self, there's no reason why David on the camera down that third base line could not have jumped off that scaffolding and made that catch.
We need a better effort from him. 1-1 pitch on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. You got to earn your stripes over there.
That's the hot spot.
We'd make plays, but we've got a net in front of us, right, Joe? I mean, there's no chance for us.
All day, dog, all day.
1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Swung on and miss over the top. Downward break. Munich with a beautiful pitch. And he retires Champlin Park in the bottom of the 5th inning. Strikeout for Munich. That's his 4th. He's looked good in relief here. He's kept Champlin Park off the board since coming into the 3rd inning. We'll go to the 6th. We played 5. Rebels 1, the Lakers nothing on QCTV Sports.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Leading off for the Lakers.
There you see some of those banners out there. The Rebel baseball team. Last time they won a conference championship, there you see it, 2016. Made it to the tournament in 2016 and 2017. Of course, conference champions this year. They win it outright by a game over Elk River. And Anoka, Centennial, Rogers all will finish in the top 5 as well.
At 2017, Max Loven, I think, was on the mound for Champlin Park, and they went against Mr. Woodbury, Max Myers.
Oh, yes.
That guy had a heavy breaking pitch.
Check swing, and Dupner down swinging on 3 pitches to start the top of the 6th, 1 out. And Finau is 8th strikeout of the game. Finau starting his 6th inning, so he's pitched 5 1/3 now. No runs, just the 1 hit. Struck out 8, and he hasn't walked anybody. He has been amazing here tonight. 1 down, top of the order, and Munich is now pitching.
But I like this action by Munich. He just kind of like a ghost bunt attempt here, but just to change it up.
1-0 pitch, hits it the other way. Carlson coming in, still coming in, and he has time.
I thought that flare was going to drop. Good coverage by Carlson out in left field.
Read that one perfectly. Read it off the bat, came in towards the line, and quickly here in just a few pitches. 3-pitch strikeout, and now Munich out on a couple of pitches. First pitch swinging here is the number 2 hitter, Will Johnson, a strikeout and a ground out, 0 for 2 tonight. It's that one the opposite way. Foul ball, 1 strike.
Right now, you just got to find a way, win your way on a 1-run game. You know, you're always battling away. Hey, if you need to bunt your way on, change something you're doing differently, give the pitcher a different look.
1-1, 1 hop, flagged down by Oxborough, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Finau continues to cruise here in this one tonight for Champlin Park. He retires the Southwest Lakers in order, 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 6th inning. 5.5 played here. We've got a nice tight quick one here tonight from Champlin Park. Already to the bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Rebels.
Well, you know what, and hey, pitchers get back to the rubber, they get ready, they throw. They're around the play. You mentioned, Jim, that Finau has not walked a hitter. And then you get great fielding as a result of getting back to the mound, being around the plate. Your fielders stay that much more active, keep the feet moving, and you saw a nice play at second for the Rebels there to end the top half of the 6th.
Well, that game tomorrow for Minneapolis Southwest at St. Paul Highland Park is indeed the Twin Cities Championship game, the Minneapolis-St. Paul crossover championship game. St. Paul Highland Park won the St. Paul City Conference by going 10-0. They're a 14-2 overall record club. So Highland Park and Minneapolis Southwest, 2 conference champions, will cross over and play tomorrow 4:30, and that'll be at the Highland Park baseball field. Field number 1 if you want to see the Twin Cities championship game between those two conference champions. As we move here to the bottom of the 6th, Champlin Park trying to add to their lead. Maybe an insurance run here, make them feel a little bit more secure. Although with Finau on the mound, I don't know, a 1-0 lead seems like it's 5-0.
Yeah, you're absolutely.
The way
I was just going to say
Finau's pitching tonight.
That's one big run. And the story behind that run in the first inning is interesting as well. So
Zaholka, Carlson, Schornstein for the Rebels. Munich delivers strike 1. Zaholka, single, run batted in, only run batted into the game, and then he grounded a 4-6-3 double play that ended the 3rd inning. 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Boy, his breaking pitch, it's many different speeds. Slow and slower and kind of a jerky release, and it's just tough to get a read on the release.
0-2. Off the end of the bat, goes with the pitch, race to the bag, and he should be safe. We don't have a call yet.
He's going to ask the home umpire. I think he was safe.
Yeah, I think he was too. Here is the play, the runner. Here comes the fielder, and he's safe. Walker, the first baseman, tried to dive at the bag, and I think that's what made it the infield umpire. I think that's what makes it tough for him. If it's feet, bam, bam, it's probably easy to call. But instead, he's diving with his bag, with his glove onto the bag, with the ball in his glove. He's diving to the bag, and he is going to be called out.
Ooh, yep, just
after the review.
I mean, he shortened his step just to get that left foot down before the fielder. And, well, I don't know, is that karma or what? But all the mystery seems to be happening in about that 3-foot area at first.
And again, in the defense of the infield umpire, again, the glove, it's different. Because if you got 2 feet on the bag, it's bang, bang. I think the glove just makes it harder for him to make the call. And don't want to make excuses there, but
you know.
And I don't know. Do you teach your players, you know, when you're talking about fielding, to not dive? They tell them not to slide. If you're a runner, don't slide into first base. But if you're a fielder, is it quicker to dive to first base with the ball in your glove, or is it quicker just to sprint to it, and maybe you're trying to avoid a collision as well in that instance because the guys are coming in, they're converging from different directions.
It's situational, and then also it helps if you have a first base mitt the size of a fishing net.
That does work.
It, right?
One ball and 1 strike here. Nicholas Carlson, the batter, 1 down for Champlin Park, batting in the bottom of the 6th, and that one misses. It's 2-1.
He's still throwing some great pitches. Tried to go backdoor, but again, that last play as well, and another example of a nice defensive gem.
Carlson's been on twice. Has a hit and a walk. Strike called there, 2-2. Schornstein on deck for the 306 hitter here, Nicholas Carlson.
Watch his arm slot on each one. It just comes out of his hand a little different than that spin, the red dot that you sometimes look for as a hitter.
There's a big curve, and that really came in hard on him. And that'll fill the count here at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That one had a pretty harsh-looking spin on it. That came in with a pretty hard grade.
3-2 and 1 down. Base is empty. Right back up the middle, trying to flag it down was Munich, and that finds its way. It squirts into center field for Carlson's 2nd hit of the game. And a 1-out base runner here for Champlin Park. Hit number 5 for the Rebels on the night.
And I think he went up there with a good strategy of looking for that one pitch and knowing mentally, I can't lunge out at this pitch. I've got to keep my hands back. They always say hips before hands, but sometimes those hips can come out first on the swing, but you keep your hands back, and a good piece of hitting there by Carlson.
We're going to get a pinch hitter here. Aaron Cohen is going to hit for Schornstein.
That batting for the Rebels, number 25, Aaron Cohen.
So Cohen bats here for Champlin Park, looking for some insurance. And that insurance run now on at first base. Cohen on the season, just one plate appearance, one at bat. And he has a hit in that at bat. He's 1 for 1. He's batting 1,000 as he steps in here and he takes a strike. One strike to Cohen. Schornstein had gone, struck out twice, struck out looking and swinging. 0 for 2 in his 2 trips to the plate. The 1 strike stays high. 1 ball, 1 strike. McGee due up next.
Yeah, hey, these two teams so similar. 14-4, the record for Champlin Park. 15-4 for the Lakers. As I mentioned, team batting average 286 for Champlin Park, 283 for the Lakers. But it's also, we talked about earlier, stolen bases. They're not afraid to get out there and run. And Champlin Park, I have for 2 stolen bases. That puts them at 38 for the season. And 41 total, 1 tonight for Minneapolis Southwest.
2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 2-2. Here to Cohen.
And you keep waiting for that ball to get there. You can probably see the spin. You have to be patient. Keep those hands back.
Outside. Good lunging catch there by the all-star catcher, Andrew Fazio, to keep that one from going back to the backstop, and Carlson advancing to second.
That would have been as good as a steal.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. Popped up. Right side, shallow right field. Olson coming in, calls everybody off, makes a catch, 2 down.
That's the case. Another breaking pitch. Hands drop down below the ball, and you get that pop up that time to shallow right, but he battled well.
And for the Rebels, still runner at first base. Now 2 outs for the catcher, Ty McGee. 0 for 1, a walk and a fly out. Quick throw over by Munich. Tried to catch Carlson leaning.
Yeah, I was just informed. They have the Lakers have number 22 Max Gar warming up in the pen. No one for the Rebels. You wouldn't touch Finau. Of course, the analytics may say.
Don't get me started on analytics. That pitch is outside. 1 ball to count.
I still can't believe that World Series game, Tampa Bay, and the guy was throwing lights out. Oh, gosh, I should know his name. But the Dodgers were so happy when they came to take him out of the game, and they opened it up.
Here's a strike. Just a tough breaking ball from Munich. That's just so tough.
It's filthy.
McGee checked, but still a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 down here for the Rebels.
Been throwing low, a lot in the dirt. Good time out here. I like that.
Long set by Munich, and time is called. If you're wondering, Minneapolis Southwest in the top of the 7th will have the heart of their order. 3, 4, 5, Fazio, Joshi, and Olson. Here's the 1-1 in the air to left center. Pretty well hit. And this is going to go all the way to the fence. Sullivan and Capel can't get it. Here comes Carlson rounding third, and he will score the insurance run here for Champlin Park as it's a double for Ty McGee, and it's 2-0 Rebels.
You got to be so happy for Ty McGee. He struggled at the plate this year. Got to walk his last time up, and this time an insurance run, and he pounds a double to the power alley in left center.
First RBI of the season for Ty McGee.
Good time for
it. Comes at a great time, gives them a 2-0 lead. And now a trip to the mound for Minneapolis Southwest. See if they'll make that change. They had the pitcher warming up.
And you wonder what they're thinking in terms of a strategy for tomorrow's game. That swings around pretty quickly at about 4:30. You mentioned that they have tossed 10 different pitchers this year. Look at that shot. Hits right off a one-hopper off the warning track. Oh, nice drive.
Yeah, and you got to think there's some pride with that game against St. Paul Highland Park, certainly. Minneapolis versus St. Paul. And that's a game that, well, Minneapolis Southwest has been in that, 5 times in a row. They've won the conference championship 5 years in a row in the Minneapolis City.
Thorolson steps in here and looks at one in the dirt.
Thorolson walked, stole a base back in the second inning, and struck out in the fourth. 1 for 2. Kaluza running at second for McGee, by the way, as a courtesy runner for the catcher. 1 ball here to Thorolson. And a swing comes up empty. 1 ball, 1 strike. 380 to straightaway center here at Champlin Park. 315 down the left field line. 10 feet shorter down the right field line. 305. 1 ball, 1 strike. Low and away, 2-1. Lewis Walker started, went the first 2 innings, gave up the first run of the game back in the first, and then since then it's been Munich. 3, 4, 5, now the 6th inning. Misses outside. 3-1, top of the order's on deck here. Justin Brooks for Champlin Park, again with another run in scoring position here.
Well, the most runs this pitching staff have given up in the game this whole season is 7. That was the Simile in a 7-4 loss. Otherwise,
3-1 outside, ball 4. Thorolson on base for the second time tonight. First and second. Top of the order, Justin Brooks, who's had a quiet night in that leadoff spot. 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a fly out.
You look at the other scores, it's 3-2, shutout, 8-1, 9-1, 4-0, 5-0. Impressive pitching. A loss, 2-1 loss to Maple Grove.
Munich's first pitch, hit into left field for a hit. Kaluza rounding third. Here comes a throw. It's high. Fazio goes up to grab it. Runners will be at second and third. More insurance here for Champlin Park on a 2-out base hit by Justin Brooks. RBI number 9 on the season. 3-0 Rebels.
That allows everyone from Champlin Park here, the fans, the family, to pitch and to breathe a little easier. Although Finau, I think he's been so locked in. That 1-run lead was something easy.
Head first dive to the slide. Beautiful slide by Kaluza. He wanted to go in head first, Charlie Hustle style. And we will get a new pitcher. Max Gard been warming up in the bullpen, and he will be the new man here for Minneapolis Southwest. So the third pitcher of the game, he'll come in relief of Munich here. Gar, 1-0 on the season, has not given up an earned run. 2 runs, 0 earned runs given up, 12 innings pitched, 7 hits, struck out 15, walked only 2 in his 12 innings of work. We mentioned he's 1-0 on the season. This will be his 5th appearance for the Minneapolis Southwest Lakers. So their third pitcher of the game, just trying to keep it manageable going to the 7th here and keeping it 3-0.
They are, and I'll tell you, they finally broke through. The first crooked number put up on the scoreboard tonight. A 2 spot here for the Rebels. That's key to the Rebels season. They're hang on and get this win. They move to 15-4. But timely hitting, some good pitching, solid fielding throughout the season that has enabled them to put together now what they're looking for is a 9-game win streak.
Yeah, and for Champlin Park and their section ratings, you're taking on a Minneapolis Southwest team with a good record. They've beaten some good teams, played tough here this season, and they do use the QRF. The QRF is part of the formula, is part of what they use to decide the seedings in Section 5-4A. So a win here for Champlin Park, will that be enough to get them ahead of Mounds View? Mounds View, of course, out of the Suburban East, historically a fantastic baseball conference. When you consider Cretin-Durham Hall, you consider Forest Lake, you consider Stillwater, the defending state champs. So it's going to be a good battle between 1 and 2 for Mounds View and Champlin Park in Section 5. Batter is Chase Oxborough here. First pitch from Gar is the ball. 1-0, bit high. 1-0. Gar is a senior, plays some outfield and a pitcher. One of the 10 pitchers that the Lakers have used this season.
I've just seen Centennial with a 2-1 win over Anoka.
This one is pulled foul
this afternoon.
1 ball, 1 strike. So that means both Centennial and Anoka finish at 8-4 on the season. They finish in a tie for third behind Elk River and the conference champion Champlin Park Rebels. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Gar just trying to get up to the 7th here, keep it 3-0. And bounce by Oxborough foul towards third and wide of third, 1-2. Oxborough a walk, scored that run, had that adventure of an at-bat in the first, and then a couple of groundouts. 0 for 2 here tonight. Brooks at second, Theraldson at third. In the air to the outfield. Long run by the center fielder Capel. They'll track it down in shallow right center field. That's all for Champlin Park. They're down here in the bottom of the 6th, but they get some insurance. Couple runs on 3 hits, and they leave 2 on. And they will give their pitcher Tyler Finau a 3-0 lead as we go to the 7th here on QCTV Sports.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure.
$1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
3-0 Champlin Park, trying to secure that 15th win of the season. Tyler Finau back out to start his 7th inning of work. He has been pitching a gem here so far, and his team just gave him a couple of extra runs insurance in the bottom of the 6th inning as we go to the 7th. And their all-star catcher Andrew Fazio leads off. He's flied out to center twice. He's 0 for 2. First pitch, ball 1. Fazio, Joshi, and Olson. Finau inside, 2-0. Sometimes your team gives you, as a pitcher, they give you some insurance and you come out and then you think you got a little comfort zone there. This one's going to flare. That'll be in there for a hit. So Fazio finds his way to bloop one into right center field. Second hit of the game here for the Southwest Lakers. And that'll bring up Joshi. 396 came into the game hitting just under 400. He's reached on an air and struck out looking. 0 for 2 tonight.
He's got a good bat and gets his hands to the ball in a hurry.
That one almost got away from Finau outside.
You can hear the bench for Minneapolis Southwest, the Lakers waking up and giving some support, getting that lead off. I'm telling you that the tempo is set with every inning. It's an out or you get that runner on. Even more so in the 7th inning. And you can see that that flare of a hit has ignited the bench for the Lakers.
Yeah, if you look at the analytics, your chances of scoring, and I'm not talking using analytics about who's going to hit or play who where or when to take the pitcher out. I'm just talking about the percentages and the likelihood of scoring and having a big inning is much greater when you get that leadoff man on.
Champlin Park does have someone warming up in the bullpen. I couldn't get the number from here.
Finau's gone the distance. Here's his 2-0 pitch, and he sneaks that one across. 2-1 with Olson on deck.
Yeah, but even that leadoff hit wasn't hit solid. It's been great pitching. As you mentioned, just kind of a flare off the bat and found some open acreage.
Rocco holding the runner over at first. Pitch is a bit high. Now 3-1, and Finau's one pitch away from having the tying run come to the plate.
Hitters count here because you get a chance to kind of set on the pitch that you want, and only that pitch, one pitch. See if he gets what he's looking for here.
And the 3-1 pitch, and it's on the outside corner. Joshi thought he had ball 4. He was going to toss the bat and walk to first. Home plate umpire said, not so fast. Count is full. The payoff coming. Swung on and missed. Big comeback there from Finau. And it's 3-2, 3-2 pitch. Josie down.
Clutch strikeout. Still some juice to go here for the Lakers.
Just reared back right down the heart of the plate. Power versus power against the number 4 hitter Joshi. And he came up empty. Batter is Mason Olson, fouls it back to the left. Mason Olson has struck out twice. Came in as a .310 hitter and 15 runs batted in. 1 strike the count. Strikeout number 9 for Finau. Now 43 on the season. 1 out, runner still at first. That's the catcher Fazio. 1 strike. Misses outside. 1-1. They are holding with the runner at first, but Finau not paying a whole lot of attention here in a 3-0 game. Now it was still 1-0 or maybe 2-0. He'd be keeping a little more of an eye over at first.
Yeah, his focus definitely must be on the hitter.
Delivers 1-1 outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Capel, who's on deck, has one of the 2 hits tonight for Minneapolis Southwest.
See if he comes in with that sweeper pitch, moving it down towards that back foot on the left-handed hitter.
2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch to Olson, swung on and fouled off.
Of course, those pitches are so tough for catchers because you can't afford a pass ball, and you got to block it, and it's just a lot of components go in with a pitch like that. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Olson.
Fouled again.
That time he went back at it, tried to go back foot on that late breaking pitch.
Finau's given him everything he's got here. He's gone the distance, trying to get the complete game victory. There is help in the bullpen if he needs it. He doesn't want to need it, though. He'd love to get a double play. 2-2, Finau to Olson. On the outside corner, rung him up, 2 down. Strikeout number 10 on the night for Finau.
Wow. Wow. Tough location. A little bit of movement and pulled it back, but squared up well by the catcher. But I think he was going to make that call. That pulling it back on him, it had nothing to do with the punch out.
Southwest down to their last at bat now. Ray Capel. Strike 1.
Jim, I'm just going to let you know, too, I've been warming up. So if somehow your vocal cords go, I can help close right here.
I think I'll be fine.
That's what I was doing before when I took a lap around the diamond, warming up.
I do 14 hockey games in 4 days. I think 1 baseball game. I don't know if I'm going to have an issue as there's a swing and a miss over the top. Capel struck out swinging in the 2nd and singled back in the 5th. 1 for 2 tonight, but now the Lakers down to their final strike. And the pitch. He went around. It's a 3 up, 3 down, or not 3 up, 3 down, but he struck out 3 this inning for Tyler Finau. For Minneapolis Southwest, they got a hit. They leave 1. And 3 strikeouts in the inning, 11 for the game for Tyler Finau. And it's a Champlin Park victory to close out the regular season, 3-0 against Minneapolis Southwest. Joe, your thoughts?
Oh, beautiful shutout. Artistry when it came to pitching. Not one walk for Finau on the night. Limited the amount of hits. And as you mentioned, I think you said a total of 12 strikeouts on the night.
11.
11. See, I wanted to give him more.
1, 2,
timely
3,
hitting,
4,
and the
5,
Rebels
6, 7,
get
8,
to
9,
a crooked
10,
number in the 6th to allow Finau to breathe a little bit. But an outstanding night. Look at the upcoming schedule here for QCTV. Lacrosse, OPC at Anoka tomorrow night. That wraps up the girls' high school lacrosse regular season. Then we go on 6-4 Champlin Park and Andover graduations. On the 4th,
always
Anoka
fun
with Tim Anderson.
And then right back
6-5.
here in Champlin, the big Father Hennepin parade.
Look at that on
Should be
6-9.
good times. Champlin Park, 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. They leave 8 to get the win tonight. And it's a shutout tonight, Minneapolis Southwest. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. They leave 3. Tyler Finau gets the win. Complete game, 7 innings, 0 runs, 2 hits, struck out 11, didn't walk a single man. Lewis Walker, the starting pitcher here tonight for Minneapolis Southwest, ends up taking the loss. 2 innings, gave up just the 1 run, but that's all Champlin Park needed. 3 hits, a couple of strikeouts and a walk. He falls to 4-2. Munich and Gar followed in relief. Minneapolis Southwest falls to 15-5. They'll play for the Twin Cities Championship tomorrow at St. Paul Highland Park. Champlin Park goes to 15-4, and they'll get ready for the Section 5 4A playoffs beginning on Monday of next week. Their seeding meeting will be on Thursday. For the nice crowd on hand here for beautiful baseball weather tonight, everybody in the truck. For Joe Rulin, I'm Jim Erickson. Again, your final here tonight at Champlin Park. Rebels, the Northwest Suburban Conference champs, beat the Minneapolis City champs 3-0 over Minneapolis Southwest. Good night, everybody.